This is my review of My Hero Academia. Okay, so this was a very fitting end to the whole Cavalry battle saga of whatever, but my camera's not centered. I haven't done this in a while. I'm sorry. But anyway, yeah, what happened was after Todoroki and Deku's team met on the field, Todoroki combines the team's powers to basically steal the first place headband right off from Deku's nose. What they did was they combined Kanemaru's electricity quirk with Momo's create quirk to create a barrier around them that created electricity to stun the rest of the teams on the field, which Todoroki then used in conjunction with his icy hot quirk to freeze all the teams in place, effectively eliminating any competition and backing Team Deku into a corner. And then Ida pulls out a trump card, which is that he can overload his engine quirk to go super speed, but if he does that, he's basically out of commission for the rest of the game. And they do manage to secure the 10 million head points and actually get back into the game and become first. And what happens next is a scramble between the two teams to see who can move on and who can't. And what's interesting here is that Deku is actually able to exploit an emotional weakness of Todoroki, which is that Todoroki will always refuse to use his fire in combat. But it's revealed that there is an emotional reason for that, and it's kind of interesting to see why he won't use his quirk that way, and I'm interested to see where that's going to go. Meanwhile, Deku is trying to scramble to get the points, but it's actually Bakugo who steals the show here, because Bakugo does try and face off against the ringleader of Class B, who I forget his full name, but I think his last name is Monomo or something like that. I'll picture him here. You guys can figure out the rest. But anyway, they face off against Monomo and his team, and Monomo reveals that he has probably the single most powerful quirk in existence, except for maybe One for All and a couple others. I don't know. But his quirk basically enables him to copy any quirk and give it to himself. So he is essentially a one-man quirk army. He can use any quirk he wants, but he can only use one at a time, and is able to steal two of Bakugo's team's quirk, but because of Bakugo's raw ambition as opposed to Monomo's team just kind of settling, manages to steal their headbands in a one fell swoop and get back into the game. And while Deku isn't able to resecure first place, his team is able to slip past Todoroki's guard and swipe his headband and get into third place. So it winds up being a four-way advancement between Monono's team, not Motono's team, but a different team I will get into later. But it winds up being three teams from Class A, consisting of all the main characters we've seen up until this point, and Team Shinso, who surprisingly slipped under the radar and managed to get into third place without anybody noticing. And that's a bit interesting because after the fact, everybody kind of just scratches their head wondering what happened and where all their points went. And nobody really has an answer to that. And that's kind of interesting because it does seem like a bit of an ass pull that he's just kind of there and nobody noticed. But it seems kind of interesting to me that their minds just kind of drew a blank about it, because they don't really realize that he's kind of slipped into third place without anybody noticing, and nobody noticed anything. So that's interesting, and I'm curious to see what his quirk is now, because if he somehow managed to slip in the third place and nobody noticed, like, at all, then that's kind of concerning about what his quirk actually is. I mean, some people who have already seen the show probably know what his quirk is, but please don't spoil it, please. But yeah, it's definitely interesting, and the four teams do manage to move on, and we will be seeing more stuff with them later. But it's also kind of interesting seeing that not only does Todoroki have an emotional hang-up, which prevents him from using his fire, which he mentions that he doesn't want to do because he would be just like his father. And I'm assuming there's some emotional trauma with his father, which I kind of picked up on because Endeavor seems kind of like an asshole. But, yeah. And we also get to see some quirks from Class C and Class B. And also, throughout the entire Cavalry Braille section, I noticed something, and that's that it seems like Ochako was kind of jealous of Mei a little bit. So I'm assuming that Ochako has a crush on Deku and doesn't realize it. And this episode kind of unintentionally sets up Mei as a kind of, I don't know, kind of a romantic rival for Ochako. So that's interesting to see, but for the most part, it just was a clash between kind of some pretty powerful teams, and that's interesting. I did like seeing them all work together, but now I'm looking forward to see how the rest of the arc is going to go, because I know nothing, and there's still quite a few episodes left of this season. More than any other season, might I add. Season 3 went back to the 15-episode format, and Season 1 was in a 12-episode format. So, and this is the only one that has 25 so far. So, I'm interested to see how much more they're going to cram into this and see where it's going to go. But, yeah, if you guys did enjoy this, then what did you guys think? Let's get the discussion going in the comment section down below. And also, I'm not dead! So if you followed me on Twitter and Facebook and all the socials, they're all in my end card. Go, if you don't know any, I don't know any of them off the top of my head, so go there. They're all there. Pause the video at the end, whatever. But, yeah, I was sick and I wasn't feeling well. I had a stomach bug. I'm back, so yay. But anyway, if you guys did indeed enjoy this episode, then be sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and also do all the things that you would expect me to tell you at this point, because this is YouTube. You know all of this at this point. So anyway, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace!